if I could tell you one reason why I love the online world, it's because really it's just this big numbers game. So if you like games, I'm sure you will love running digital marketing strategies in the online world just like I do. It's basically this big number game where you are constantly trying to beat yourself. There are so many different factors that will impact the success of your digital marketing strategy that you really have to pay attention to. Factors like your ad copy, the graphics, or the videos that go along with the ad copy, your call to action, your targeting, your landing pages, your emails, your sales funnels, and even how well you actually use the front end of social media. All of this plays a large role in whether or not you'll have a successful digital marketing campaign running for your business on automation. A campaign that will allow you to generate clients and sales in the online world while you are sleeping, while you're traveling, while you're hanging out with your friends and families, or while you're putting your time and effort into other aspects of your business. But like I said, it's just this one big game, a game where you're constantly going to be changing things. You're making tweaks to it and seeing those results come in. And that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. I want to share with you some specific elements that really you should be paying attention to when looking at your digital marketing campaign results. So whether that is an online webinar or just straight lead generation, you know exactly what is working and what is not working within your business. And as I said, there are certain aspects that you need to pay attention to and where you should be putting your focus that makes those tweaks and you just get better and better over time. Now, another thing I want to point out to you before I actually dive into the actual elements that I want you to pay attention to is honestly, there are so many different moving pieces to the puzzle that we need to look at to really get that full picture. But also, and this is kind of the annoying part, what works on one account may not work on another account. For example, I can place an ad on my account and get amazing results. I could be generating those high quality leads and getting those sales within my business every single day. I could place that exact same ad in the exact same strategy on your account. It could flop. Like I said, that's the most frustrating aspects about running campaigns online. But again, it's just this big game. And if you're willing to play, if you're willing to pay, you will see those results. I promise you. You just need to make those tweaks consistently. So let's talk about those elements that I want you to start to pay attention to when you are running your strategy, okay? And I'm going to start from the very, very front of your digital marketing campaign, all the way to the very back. So the very first element, okay, that I want you to pay attention to is the front end, your social media. Your social media account is where people are going to learn from you, where they're going to build that relationship with you, where you are going to boost that credibility, where essentially they're going to judge to see if they like you or not. What I've learned over the last 7 years is that the more that you actually use the front end of your social media, the better the back end campaigns are going to convert for you. So if you are not using the front end of your social media effectively, I really want you to start paying attention to that aspect right now. Now, I don't want you to put all your time and energy into it, but that is a key element and really a big piece of this puzzle. So if you struggle with what to post on social media, I want you to head back to actually episode number 3 on the More Than Social podcast. I actually started the entire series off with the front end of social media. And if you want to learn how to schedule your content so that it actually goes live for you, I want you to check out my 30-day social media automation bootcamp. I'm going to link that below for you. What I do is I teach you how to automate the front end. Anyways, so the second element that we have to look at is the actual ad. So copywriting is the most difficult aspect of the online world really to perfect. You need to have an ad copy that not only grabs someone's attention, but also positions you as that expert that builds that relationship, that really has that conversation that you would have had in person and really then convert them into a lead or a sale depending on what that ad is actually about. So when you run ads through Meta, which is the back end of Facebook, it gives you all sorts of stats of what is working and what is not working. So stats that you can pay attention to are your clicks, your link clicks, and your CTR percentages. The differences between clicks and link clicks is that clicks are going to tell you how many people saw your ad and clicked that read more button. Link clicks tells you how many people clicked on your ad's link. If you were getting a lot of people to click on the ad to really just read the full version, that tells us, yes, you are grabbing enough attention. You're getting people's curiosity. If you're not getting people to click on the link though, that is telling us that there is some disconnect between your hook and the actual ad copy, and it's not encouraging them to want to move forward. Now, the CTR percentage is telling us how many people are clicking on the link compared to the number of people who saw the ad. So this is actually telling us the overall effectiveness of the ad. So those 3 ad metrics alone are exactly what I pay attention to determine the actual ad's effectiveness. Now also, that wouldn't tell me the impact that I'm having with who I'm targeting with the ads. So what happens is when you're running Facebook ads, you can actually tell Facebook and tell Instagram, take this social media post, put it in front of my dream client. But in order to do that, you have to know exactly who you're talking to. From a targeting perspective, you can put in keywords based on what your audience would be interested in, and they would actually see that ad or that post. So in terms of making sure that you are targeting the right people and putting the ad in front of them is another key element I want you to pay attention to, which comes back again to the ad. So that was number 2. Number 3, so this is the next piece of the puzzle, which is actually when you're taking them off of social media. So in that ad that you have, you're typically asking them to do something for you. You're getting them to take an action of some sort. So an action could be registering for a free webinar, downloading a lead magnet, purchasing a workshop, filling out an application, whatever it is. There are different type of aspects that we can do for your business based on that end goal that you're looking for. However, the first step is this third element that we have to pay attention to is really how often and how likely someone will actually take that next step within your business. So there are certain metrics that we pay attention to for this element. We look at your ad stats, but we also look at your funnel. So your ad stats are going to tell us how many people see your ad and how many of them convert into that action that you wanted them to take. Your funnel is going to tell us how many people landed on that page and what percentage of them actually took that action. For example, an opt-in page, which is where someone is downloading your lead magnet, from a metrics standpoint, we would look at your opt-in percentages. So your opt-in percentage, again, is the percentage of people who land on that page and fill in their contact information to download that freebie. If people are not putting in their contact information, yet they're landing on that page, it tells us we need to make some tweaks to the page to increase its conversions. I have a full episode on what you need to do to increase those conversions on an opt-in page. So I will make sure that I link that one down below for you too. But that is episode number 42 on the More Than Social podcast. So check that one out too if you're running an opt-in page. So let's move on to the next one, which is element number 4. So the fourth in the next element is really just starting to look at your emails and how you're actually follow up with them after they've taken the action that you want them to take, aka after they download that freebie or signed up for whatever it is that you're doing. With your emails, we actually look at 2 different types of stats, okay? We look at your open rates and we look at your click rates. So an open rate tells us whether or not people are actually opening your email. So if people are not opening your email, are you really attracting the right people, or have you really set yourself up in a way that they actually want to hear from you? If you aren't getting people to open the emails, what we're going to do is we're going to tweak those email subject lines. The second one is your click rates, okay? So this tells us how many people are actually clicking the link in the email to take that action that you want them to take. So this takes us back to copywriting and the relationship that you built with them. If people aren't clicking on that link in the email, I will start by editing that email copy and tweaking that slightly. Maybe that's adding in more call to actions throughout the copy. Maybe it's being shorter and more direct. Maybe it's even adding in a video and removing some of the text. Regardless though, if people aren't opening your emails, if they're not clicking the link in your email, we obviously need to make some tweaks to get better and better over time. That's what we're doing here. We're making those tweaks. Now, the last element that we want to pay attention to is actually the back end conversions, meaning how many people are actually purchasing what you want them to purchase, how many people are booking appointments with you. We can also pay attention to these stats, and we can also track all of their performance. So if you're generating a lot of leads for your business, but you aren't actually getting those back end stats, there's a few aspects that we want to look at. First of all, is the customer journey longer than your follow-up? So one of my clients is currently sitting at about a 3-month wait period before they actually turn them into paying clients for their online program. By knowing that, what we did is we're making their email follow-up longer and more educational, but we're also implementing some urgency to push people to move faster to purchase. Another aspect that we looked at is the quality of the leads coming in on the front end. Are there certain tweaks that we can make to the ad copy to get them into our system at a different stage within that customer journey? For example, for you, one of my mortgage agent clients has a full campaign on leveraging their home equity to buy investment properties, okay? He was getting a lot of really great calls. He was having a lot of good conversations, but the stage that these people were at were not ready to move forward in the customer journey. So what we did, we made a small tweak on the front end, and we said, do you want to buy an investment property within 6 months versus just being vague? He now has people following up with him, going through his conversation, and they're ready to move forward a lot quicker. So these are all those tiny aspects, those tiny tweaks that we make based on the performance that we're seeing on the back end. Once you pay attention to all 5 of these elements, you'll be continuously making tweaks really just to get better and better over time. And as I said, this is a big numbers game. So I want you to look at these elements. I want you to figure out what is your baseline right now. Figure out what your numbers are. Where are you standing at this point in your digital marketing strategy? Now the game part of it, I want you to try to beat those numbers just over and over again, okay? Remember, you are playing this game only to compete with yourself. Like I said, there are so many different elements. There's so many different moving pieces that could affect your campaign. Even depending on how much you're spending on your ads will actually affect the performance. But remember, I said I can place that exact same campaign on my account, place the exact one on your account. We will get completely different results. So my biggest suggestion and my final suggestion for today is really to just always be testing, always be tweaking. You should be testing and tweaking at least one thing at a time to know exactly what is working for your audience and what doesn't. So if you're not continuously tweaking your campaigns in your entire strategy, and I mean your entire one, you won't be able to get better and better results. Now, a lot of people look at digital marketing strategies and they expect to get those results overnight. It does not work like that at all. You need to make tweaks to get things running properly continuously. So I want you to give it a try. Again, look at all those moving pieces that you have within the puzzle. Get those baselines numbers for you. And then what I want you to do, like I said, beat them. Just beat them. Compete with yourself, okay? But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any point. And don't forget, I want you to leave a rating and review on the first episode of every month. What I do is I do a draw to get free access to that social media automation bootcamp program that I was talking about just a couple of minutes ago. But regardless, have a fantastic day. Remember, you are more capable than you think. You can scale your business to the moon when you actually have the right strategy in place, okay? Regardless, have the best day ever. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.